Alrighty, everybody. This is Ross's by any means necessary fantasy football talk for Saturday, October 23rd. I did not do any the basketball pre-draft stuff that I, kind of got excited about doing. It's because I honestly, I love basketball. Basketball was the first sport I ever loved. Been a huge basketball fan my whole life. I love to play. I love to watch. I love dynasty basketball. I love dynasty fantasy basketball. I'm trying to get excited about redraft basketball again. I'm trying to work through that myself. I play, but I don't particularly enjoy it. I did join a money league this year. I joined some money dynasty leagues, hoping the money factor might make it more exciting for me. I'm trying more categories leagues, hoping that might make it more exciting because head-to-head points. It's just so unexciting for me. I don't even. My basketball videos just really weren't popular last year. I'm trying to figure out a way to talk about basketball and make it exciting, make it interesting for not only for you but for me to even talk about. I could talk basketball. I could talk basketball for hours and enjoy it, but fantasy basketball is just different. It's just a different animal. So I didn't do any of the pre-draft basketball stuff that I wanted to do. I apologize for that. It's just basketball. There's just not a whole, as I've said so many times before, there's just not a whole lot of strategy involved in basketball. It's just playing categories. The categories you have to weigh things a little differently. In Dynasty, it's more about age and stuff like that, acquiring picks, stuff like that. But just redraft, straight points, head-to-head basketball is not a whole lot of strategy. Just draft your team, okay? Stay up on the injuries, and set your lineup. That's really I like to have two at every spot: 2 point guards, 2 shooting guards, 2 small forwards, 2 power forwards, 2 centers. Unless it's a league where positions don't matter, which that's the way the NBA is going these days. Positionless basketball, but you still, for fantasy purposes, most leagues still have a standard 5 point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center setup. So I like to have 2 of each. And then in most leagues, it's 13 to 15 roster spots. So, if it's 13, I'll have a backup guard. I'll have a backup forward. I'll have another center. So I'll have 3. And then if it's 15, I'll have another backup at every position, at least on draft day. As the season goes along, obviously waivers and stuff are going to change. Priorities going to change. It's about getting some production for that particular day. You start streaming and stuff like that. It's really basketball, fantasy basketball, straight points, head-to-head basketball is the easiest fantasy sport you can play. If you're a noob who wants to get into fantasy, I recommend points, straight points, head-to-head, H2H points, basketball. It's going to be easiest for you to set. Anyways, I just wanted to publicly say that. We're going to do my wide receiver spikes and yikes real quick. I'm not going to do running backs together because I got 5 of each, spikes and yikes to do. Wasting the first 3.5 minutes of my day, of my video talking about basketball. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time. I'll have enough time. Obviously, I can make this video as long as I want to, but I don't want it to take 15 hours to upload or anything like that. Because by then the game's started tomorrow, and this video will be completely useless for the 4 people who watch it. So, wide receivers, spikes, and yikes. As always, we're starting with the guys I don't like, and as always, it's guys outside. It's gonna be guys in the top 25 who I think are gonna, top 25 usually the guys that we're starting, or ESPN is recommending that we start for the week. So, and I use ESPN's rankings just because that's the format I play the most on, and I think that's the format that most of us play on. So it's just easier to just use that as my guideline. I know Yahoo has different rankings. I know Sleeper has different rankings. Fantrax, NFL.com. They all have different rankings, but I just use ESPN as a standard guideline. So guys in the top 25 who I think are not going to live up to the experts' expectations, starting with Brandon Cooks at 10. I hate to pick on Brandon Cooks. He's one of my favorite players. He's a successful guy, another successful player who's come from the Oregon State program, which I have no hate for the Beavers. I wish the Beavers were better, nationally and year to year. I think a lot of the fans in Corvallis are very content with just having football in town on Saturday. I don't really think they care all that much about winning. From my experiences there in the town and working the games on Saturdays, they just want a place to go sit in the parking lot and drink. They don't really care about the product on the field, I think, and I think that contributes to the fact that the Beavers, when Mike Riley was there, how he'd always earned a contract extension every single year, or just for getting to a bowl game, even if it wasn't even a very important bowl game. Like, and that's why Mike Riley stayed so long, because he was so comfortable there. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I think Oregon State is more. Oregon State actually has produced more pros than Oregon has recently, despite all the success that Oregon has in college football. And Oregon State produces more. Oregon State's more of an academic school. They take pride more in the academic part, less than the athletic part, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Oregon State's a good school, especially if you're going for engineering or anything math related. Good school, but the Beavers fan base and leadership reminds me a lot of the Vikings fan base and management, where they're very content with mediocrity. Also, I'd say the Seattle Mariners, very content with mediocrity as long as the program is making money and the team is competitive. That's all they really care about. They don't care about winning national championships or conference championships or Super Bowls or World Series. They just want to make money and field a slightly competitive roster. They're okay with mediocrity. That's how I feel about the Beavers, and there's nothing wrong with that. They just need to admit it. Don't pretend like you want to win Pac-12 championships when you really don't care. So, anyways, that's an awful long tangent. I'm definitely not going to be your running back. Brandon Cooks is a top 10 play this week, according to ESPN, against the Cardinals. I think he's going to have a lot of volume. I think he's going to be productive with that volume. I'm not denying that. He's going to have a good week, I think. But I don't know if he's a top 10 play. He hasn't been quite that good yet this year. I have more as a wide receiver, too. A.J. Brown, 11. I mean, that's still really high for a guy who's had one good week all year. I think it's too early to jump on that back on that bandwagon. I know it's week 7 by Mageddon. We're going to start A.J. Brown if we have A.J. Brown, and I think he's going to be good against the Chiefs. But I don't know if he's a high-end wide receiver, too. Again, yet. I think, we've only seen it for 1 week. We need to see it a little bit more. Robert Woods, 14, went back to sucking balls again last week. I think that's going to continue. I do think the Rams are going to absolutely destroy Detroit. Matthew Stafford's going to have a hell of a game. Robert Woods, whether he'll be a beneficiary of that or not, I'm not sure. I don't. My money would not be on Robert Woods having a good game. My money would be on Cooper Kupp, obviously. Tyler Higbee, probably. Perhaps even Van Jefferson, Darrell Henderson, Sony Michel. Those guys. Not so much Robert Woods. However, I would still start Robert Woods if I had him, most likely as a flex play, not a wide receiver 2. T. Higgins at 18, he really has not looked good since coming back from his injury. Jamar Chase has eclipsed him as the number 1 wide receiver in that offense. I know Tyler Boyd hasn't looked good either. Neither one of those Bengals wide receivers has looked good. Neither one of those wide receivers seems like a startable play this week, even in a bad bye week. But again, if you have T. Higgins, you're probably starting T. Higgins. However, I would not have him as a wide receiver 2 this week. And lastly, Devontae Parker at 23 versus the Falcons. Whether Devontae Parker even plays or not is still up for debate. He hasn't played in he's missed the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks? He's missed the last 3 weeks, counting there, because the Dolphins were on bye. Weren't they on bye? I think they were on bye. Maybe they were not. Maybe they haven't had their bye yet. I don't know. Dolphins have a bye on week 13, right? Didn't they play in London, though? Oh, my God, I'm so confused on that. But Devontae Parker hasn't played in a while. He's going to be a little rusty. I don't know how productive he's really going to be. I don't think I would start him this week. Despite all the bye week problems, I still would leave Devontae Parker on my bench. For the 5 wide receivers I like this week to spike, these are guys outside the top 20 or top 25 who I think are going to produce at least flex level numbers or wide receiver 2 numbers. Starting with Jalen Waddle at 20. I just talked about Devontae Parker, how I don't like Devontae Parker. I do like Jalen Waddle. I think the Tua and Waddle connection cannot be denied. When Tua's out there, Waddle is his favorite target. And it's really not even that close. So Waddle, Tua, as long as Tua's on the field, Waddle is a flex play. Waddle reminds a lot of people of Tyreek Hill. The fact that he hasn't really produced like Tyreek Hill at this point. Jalen Waddle's depth of target is really, really short, which is not what we kind of thought he was going to be coming into the league. We kind of thought he'd be like a Will Fuller, a Tyreek Hill, a Marquise Brown early in his career. This could be the week where Jalen Waddle truly breaks out, shows off his speed, his big play ability. I like Jalen Waddle as a wide receiver 2, and number 20 is wide receiver 2-ish. I got him higher. I would put him probably top 15. Next, Corey Davis, 28. That's low-end flex play. I got Corey Davis more as a high-end flex play. I think he's going to have a good day against New England. If you'll notice, which you probably haven't because you don't invest as much time into this as I do, Corey Davis in his 5 starts this season, has only played well when he's on the road. He doesn't play good at home for the Jets. He only plays well on the road. Well, guess what? They're in New England this week. They're on the road. So Corey Davis, if the trend continues, which, I may be reaching a little bit here, but Corey Davis on the road should have a good day against Patriots. Especially since the Patriots defense really isn't as good as a lot of people thought it would be. Marquez Callaway, way down at 35 against Seattle. I got Marquez Callaway as a wide receiver 2 this week. I put him in like 19-20 range. 35 seems awfully low to me. I think Callaway's going to have himself a day. Rashad Bateman at 40 of the Ravens versus the Bengals. We haven't heard a lot from Rashad Bateman this year. He's a rookie. Ravens drafted in the first round this year. They traded up to get him. I think